What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Handmade and Beyond podcast. I'm your host, LL, leader of the handmadeandbeyond.com website and community. I'm a self-employed entrepreneur, an Etsy expert, and business coach who's figured out how to make my entire living with my handmade business. Each week, I'll dive into strategies and success tips to help you with your handmade business, with Etsy, and everything in between. Let's dive in. Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome back. Glad to have you back to the Handmade and Beyond podcast. Your place to come hang out and talk about everything Etsy and growing your handmade business and all that good stuff. And I'm here to help you do just that. Give you tips, strategies, motivation to take your business to the next level. So today's topic is a good one. And this is something that has been being talked about pretty much everywhere because it's affecting businesses from all walks of life. The businesses that are small, the businesses that are big, everyone is being impacted by the iOS update, the new update, which I think it's 14.5, which is updating the privacy settings, and it is going to restrict how apps and websites are allowed to collect data. So what that means basically is how companies are allowed to target customers, to collect data to target customers, to be able to collect information on customers and things like that. It's not going to be as easy for them to do that. It's like if you go back to, let's say, the 80s with law enforcement and how all law enforcement was very siloed. So it was really hard to solve serial murders and not to get dark on you, but really hard to solve some cases because all the law enforcement agencies did not talk to one another. They did their own thing. So, the law enforcement of one town may have had a crime, and then a law enforcement of another town may have had a crime. They're the exact same or very similar crimes, and they never talked to each other, so they would never pull resources and capture the person. It was a lot harder to do that. Now they've opened it up. Law enforcement agencies talk to one another. They have databases and stuff like that, so it becomes a lot easier to catch criminals, so we all benefit. So this is like the opposite effect, right? These companies are being forced to become more siloed because they cannot pull information from one of them from each other because Apple is not allowing them to do that. So it does make it harder because they can't share information about consumers and be able to collect that data from other websites to use to get more consumers, target consumers better with ads and with traffic and stuff like that. So really, now that that's explained, what really is changing is it's going to ask on Apple phones, it's going to ask buyers for permission to track their whatever you want to call it, their habits across the websites and across other apps. So basically, tracking them on what they're doing. I think they're wording it in such a way where it's we want to optimize your experience. Do you want us to allow to track your habits across other apps or something like that is how they're wording it. And you have the option to select no and change in your settings and not allowing them to do that. Now, I know a lot of people don't like to be tracked. They don't like their data to be collected, but it's been going on for a long time. The government probably knows more about you than you think. All the big tech companies know plenty about you. So it has been going on a long time. Now they're just giving you the choice on whether you want to be tracked or not. Now, keep in mind, a lot of people automatically go to the bad of this. And yeah, they shouldn't be tracking you if you don't want them to track you. But there is good. They do optimize your experience based on your habits, your buying habits. That's how they know what to sell you, what to show you, what to guide you. So your experience overall is better. Yeah, at the end of the day, they want to make more money. They want you to buy more stuff. But they do help optimize your experience. So now, like I said, they're just giving you the option if you want to be tracked or not, and then you can change those settings back and forth depending on what you want to do there. So here's how it's going to impact Etsy, or it may impact Etsy. It may impact your shop. This is why it's important to you. This is why I'm talking about this. I don't want to get into the weeds on should they track you, should they not track you, is it good or is it not good. I don't want to get into all that. That you guys can make up your own mind on that. But the impacts, basically, it could impact your sales and traffic because Etsy is not able to track customers the same way. I say probably the biggest impact is going to be with offsite ads because they used Facebook, Bing, other resources out there to do ads for you. So if those companies cannot track consumers the same way and show your stuff to people that are likely going to be interested in it, people aren't going to buy because they're showing it to people that they don't know if they're as interested or not. So your offsite ads are probably going to drop, at least temporarily, because it's harder to target. It's harder to track buying behaviors. So that's one thing that you may see a dip on. Overall, we may see a dip in less traffic, so less views to your shop, which in return, of course, is going to affect sales. That is because even within the Etsy platform, it's harder for them to run ads and drive traffic back to Etsy. So Etsy uses all kinds of ads to run traffic back to their own website. They use all the same channels, Facebook, Google, all those channels to bring people back to their platform, people's stores. All that stuff is going on behind the scenes. So as a whole, that may impact how much traffic is coming back to Etsy as a whole because it's harder to track. It's harder to target. Less people are going to be coming back to Etsy because targeting becomes harder. So it's affecting everything really when it comes to that. So you just have to be prepared for offsite ads. I would say probably the most impacted, which some of you may not get many offsite ads. I mean, it's not a ton. Even I don't get a ton, but it's still nice to have them. But overall, secondary, probably overall traffic from visits, you may see a little bit of a decline. So just prepared for that. It's going to take some time to work out all these kinks and get back on track. I'm sure it's not going to be like this forever. It is one of the things. It's one of the changes. You always have to be ready to pivot and ready for changes, good or bad, that come down the road. So here's a couple of tips on what you can do in the meantime, because you shouldn't get caught up on all this, right? It's not going to do you any good to get hung up on this, to worry about it. At the end of the day, you can't control it, right? We can't control what's happening. These companies will hopefully get it ironed out, get it figured out, so it's a little bit more optimized for you down the road. So what you can do is continue to drive traffic to your own shop via your own channels, right? Continue to do maybe what you've already been doing. Work on your social media campaigns, work on your email list, work on that type of stuff with releasing content to drive traffic back to your own shop, your own business. Businesses do this all the time. You are running a shop, so you're running a business. So think about ways that you can do that. If you just have one social media channel, that's fine. Don't go out and start 10 social media channels and stress yourself out. Just work on what you got. Just do a better job. Be a little bit more prolific with what you're releasing, with the content you're releasing, to help drive traffic, to pick up a little bit of slack there. Also, you can continue to work on your shop, right? Continue to add products, new product lines, different products based on demand, based on what buyers are buying, what they like in your shop already. Continue to optimize your listings, optimize your SEO, right? Optimize your keywords so you can target better within Etsy itself. Millions and millions of people are still coming to Etsy regardless of all these changes. So the goal remains the same. Have better SEO, target better with your SEO, get more traffic to your shop via the traffic that's already coming, via better keywords that are targeting better to bring traffic better. So we can all do a better job, me included, with SEO. It's a constant process. SEO is never a one and done. Your shop's never a one and done. Your listings are never a one and done, right? You have to continue to work at it so it doesn't get stagnant. It is a business. You just don't. You don't open up a brand new 7-Eleven and never restock the shelves, never hire anyone, you know what I mean? Never clean. So it's a constant process. So you have to constantly work at it, even though it's online, even though it's not a physical shop, right? You got to still work at it the same way and perceive it the same way. So focus on what you can control, like I said, and like I always say, these changes will come up. Being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, is all about pivoting, all about adversity, all about changes, right? Things are always going to be changing. So you have to do the best that you can to roll with the punches, good and bad, because the next change is right down the road. So the people that survive are the people that are nimble, that don't get too caught up on the changes, just do the best that they can. And at the end of the day, they'll come out on top because they didn't give up. They stayed the course, and they did what they focused on, what they could control, took lots of action, especially when things weren't going great. And they changed course and maintained and improved and learned a lot. And they were here at the end of the storm. So this is no different, guys. I just wanted to address it because a lot of people out there are talking about the changes, and it's, maybe it's doomsday and all that type of stuff. But every business across the board is going to be affected by this. And every business is probably going to be better for it. And because of it, they're going to get more nimble. They're not going to rely as heavily as super detailed targeting. They're going to think of different ways to attract traffic, attract customers, probably stuff that we haven't even thought of yet. So a lot of times when things get tough, people and companies get a little bit smarter with how they do things, develop different tactics, better techniques. So it's the same here. It's the same, with Etsy. They want to continue to make money, just like all websites and all the advertising platforms out there. So they're going to figure out a way to optimize everything. But in case you see a little bit of a dip, that may be the reason. It may not be the reason. So don't blame it on that and throw up your hands, right? We don't want to just blame it on that. If we know the reason, it may make it a little bit easier for us, but we're still going to do, at the end of the day, we're still going to keep doing what we're doing and probably a little bit more to make up for it, because that's how we want to continue to move forward. So hopefully that helps you guys as far as know what's already here and probably what's going to be here for a long time, and just know kind of what to expect and understand it if people are talking about it. So outside of that, if you guys want more help, strategies, support, success tips, an Etsy roadmap, I'd love to have you in the Handmade and Beyond community, right? It's a community of like-minded Etsy sellers working to start, build, and grow their Etsy shops. I have almost 50 courses in there showing the same strategies and techniques I've used to grow my own shop to the top 1%. It has a help forum. You get help anytime throughout the day. We also do live coaching monthly, at least one coaching call, usually more than that, to help do deep dives in your shop, give you critiques, give you strategies, just work together, hang out with other Etsy sellers. We have fun, we have a good time, but we talk about your Etsy business, and growing your business even outside of Etsy. So if you guys want strategies, tips, support, I'd love to have you in the Handmade and Beyond community. You guys can snag it for 30 days free. Why do I do it for free? Well, I like to give you as a test drive, right? Because I'm confident in it. I know you'll want to stay. If you use the resources and you implement the stuff that I teach, there's no reason that you'd want to leave, because it works. It just takes time. It's not magic, right? I don't teach you gimmicks. I teach you actually a roadmap of solid foundational items to grow your business as a whole. So if you're willing to commit to your business long term, I would love to have you in there. I'd love to work with you to get your questions answered. If you're looking for a get rich quick or something fast, that doesn't exist, but maybe you can keep looking for that. So just understand that the strategies that I teach does take time to implement, but it works. I've seen it work for myself and many other members that have been in there. So I'd love to have you in there. There's a link below. Outside of that, I'll be back next week with another awesome episode for you guys. But happy selling. Have an awesome rest of your day.